Well, hello all and welcome. I hope you're all doing well. And those of you here in the UK, hope you're enjoying this great bit of weather that we're having. As you can see, I'm round on the plot. I'm going to do a plot tour, to be honest, because this is the time of year for me personally that I find a little bit apprehensive, but also equally as exciting, because we've got things in, well, more or less everything in. I've got some leeks to go in and some winter cabbage yet to go in, but this time. Today is the 26th of June, and as I say, I thought I'll give you a bit of a plot tour. And the reason why I find this time of year somewhat exciting, little apprehensive, is because of the fact that we are harvesting certain things. I was round here last night doing a little bit of watering, and I had my first harvest of French beans. Only about 10 dozen, but did they taste good. But we're also harvesting lettuce, spring onions, raspberries, strawberries, to name but a few. And that's where I find, like I say, a bit of a mixed bag, because we don't really know what to expect. We're hoping it's going to be good, and we could be disappointed with some of the harvests. There again, we could be absolutely over the moon. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take you off the, well, no, I won't take you off the tripod. I'll give you a plot tour. I'll show you around and show you what's going on, what's good, what's bad. So let's crack on and start with a plot tour. Right, starting up this top end, my sweet peas. I've already had 2 cuttings off these already, two nice bunches. They're doing quite well. Yellowing up a little. I'm assuming it's a bit of a deficiency in something, but I'm not sure what. But they'll get fed again, and there's plenty to come. And obviously, as I remove the existing flowers, so it will help produce new floral display, shall we say. The potatoes round the back here, as you can see, coming into flower, King Edwards, doing really nicely. There's these obviously have got the flowers on. These here, you can see all the heads starting to come on them, so it won't be too long before we are harvesting those at the way it's going. I do like the flowers on the potatoes. I don't know what it is, but I think they're really nice, really nice. Right, let's move on. Right, as you can see, peas along the back there, plenty of pods on these, still some flowers as well, so there's going to be plenty to go at on those, and they're not going to be another couple of weeks or so and they're going to be ready, I would say. The beetroot, I've got 2 varieties. The peas, by the way, are Hurst Green Shaft. Always do them. I love them. Absolutely fantastic. The beetroot. Now then, I've got 2 varieties here. I've got Bolt Hardy and I've got Monorubra. The Monorubra are a bit like Solandra. They'll grow, for want of a better way of putting it, they'll grow like a carrot, to be honest. And I've got 3 rows in there. And they've just recently been unnetted because I put some in very early on in the year, didn't net them, and the birds had a field day. So when I put them in, I made sure they were netted. Over here is my French beans. and also, as you can possibly just see here, the Spanish flag. I've got a cane at either end to grow them up. Love them flowers, absolutely fantastic. The beans, Cobra, as I said, I've been round here last night with watering, and I've had about 10 dozen off these. Very nice they are too, very nice. And then spring onions down here. Let's have a look. I've got two types in here. I've got Guardsman, I do them quite regular, and I've also got North Holland Red, Blood Red, sorry, not just red, North Holland Blood Red. Never done red spring onions before, and the reason I've done those is for Christmas I was given a pack, a little box set, and it was called Psychedelic Veg, and it was things like red spring onions, the multicoloured carrots, you know, where they grow purple and white and so on, and it was things like that. And I thought, oh, we'll give those spring onions a go, definite. And I then bought, and they've growing really well, I will show you those. And I thought, what can I get for some more? So I had a quick look, saw those, thought, yes, they'll do. So we're doing those as well. And then over here, you probably can't see that well, I've got lettuce. I have been taking them out. There's a few Red Baron onions across the front here, but most of it is lettuce. It's just starting to go past its best, and it's Lollo Rosso, very nice lettuce. I'm very pleased with that. So they're doing well. I have got others ready to bring out to put in here as these go, so over the next week two I can see me getting them planted into here, and I'll move you around and just show you the onions on the end bed. Well, I've been around the allotment this morning. I've put some Clapton cauliflower in actually. We had some really heavy thundery rain last night, and that's really done wonders for the ground. While I was round there, I made a harvest, first harvest for 2023, and there we go, there it is. Lollo Rosso lettuce. That's a 3 litre square pot, and that's a pint glass. Just for comparison really, to give you an idea of the size. But yes, that's the first lettuce. I'm chuffed to bits with that. That is, which is the best looking? Don't answer. No, that's superb. I'm chuffed to bits with that. Right, the onions. These in here, these are heat treated Centurion onion sets. This year, for some unknown reason, last year I did everything from seed, and it was absolutely spot on. I had some really nice onions. This year, for some unknown reason, trying to grow from seed, they're just, I don't know what it is, but it's been a disaster. It's not put me off, but I can't understand why I managed to grow okay from seed last year. This year, not so good. I had decent germination. It wasn't as if I didn't have, but they just didn't seem to want to grow on for some unknown reason. In the past, I've grown onions from sets, and to be honest, if you're the sort of person that doesn't have any luck growing from seed, this is obviously the way to go with the onion sets. I used to do a variety called Fen Globe, and I think they were from Thompson and Morgan. And last year I didn't bother ordering any because, as I say, everything was great growing from seed. And this year when I come to try and do it, it just, I don't know, they just didn't seem to grow that well. The onion sets that I wanted I couldn't get. Apparently they've stopped doing Fen Globe, so I've had to have these Centurion instead, but done really well. So I'll move you around and show you the rest. Right, this is the long bed. Again, more peas, Hurst green shaft. Been a little spasmodic with the germination, but I did put them in a little early, and I think, to be honest, considering they're a main crop, I probably did put them in far too early, but you know, they're not doing too bad for it, that's for sure. Next to them, parsnips. I'd tried doing them in pots and so on, and I just seem to have, again, poor germination, which parsnips are known for. That's there's some people on here won't bother growing them because they know how hit and miss they can be, and all as I did was, in a sort of a 10-minute madness, shall we say, I just literally got my fingers, made a trench, made a drill, scattered the seed, covered it, kept watering, and thought, well, I either get some or I don't. Simple as that. And they are coming up, and they're doing quite nicely, so I'm quite pleased with them. In the net in there are the Calabrese. I'm just trying to Monoclano. I think they're a club root resistant variety, and they've gone out and they're not looking back. They're looking really healthy, they are. So quite pleased with them. So I'll move you a bit further up and show you what else is in this bed. Right, as you can see there, sweet corn, variety is Swift. I've grown that for about 4 or 5 years now. I did well the first year I grew it, and I thought, well, I'll stick with it. You know, if that old adage, if it's not broken, don't mend it, really. And then on the far side over there is some more sunflowers. Variety, there's Velvet Queen, there's some zinnias, some cosmos, calendula, and there's some more Spanish flag that I've grown up those canes up there. In here, the net in here, this is cauliflower. This is Clapton, doing nicely, looking really nice and healthy, so quite pleased with that. Oh wow, sorry about that. Class 37 Loco just gone past, my favourite Loco. Right, back to gardening. And then up here, potatoes. In fact, I'll just bring you up because I want to show you something with these. Okay, my potatoes, as you can see, these have been earthed up, and I've covered them with my grass cuttings from when I cut the lawn at home. This will help to retain any moisture when we get rain and so on, helps to keep them. These were done a few weeks back, and as you can see, it's starting to go a bit. These are Sarpomera, these 3 rows, Sarpomera, and these are Maris Piper. Those 2 there. Let's just, yeah, Maris Piper, and these 3 Sarpomera. The Maris Piper, they've flowered. They've got the little, like the little tomatoes, for want of a better way of putting it, appeared on them. so they could be got up at any time really. And the Sarpos are only just starting to flower, but they are a bit later, and they are a blight resistant variety as well, Sarpomera, so I'm quite pleased with them. I'll just show you my fruit trees and my last lot of onions, and that's it. Right, this is the last bed of onions. In here I've got some Red Baron, and then the rest is a variety called Rumba. As I've said before, I used to do a variety called Fen Globe. I think I used to get them from Thompson and Morgan, and for some unknown reason they've stopped doing them. Well, when I sent for the Centurion, I thought, oh, I'll have some of these as well, because these produce a slightly smaller onion, and although it's nice to grow great big things that probably weigh a pound or more each, yes, they do look good, practical wise it's probably not the way to go with onions, because you end up with a great big onion, and you're going to have to cut it up and use bits, and you may end up throwing some of it away, dependent on how often you eat them, of course. And I thought, well, going with these, Rumba being a little bit smaller, it could be a case of just using one each time as and when. So but again, doing very nicely. Right, my fruit trees, as can be seen, not many pears. There's only literally about 4 or 5 pears on there. I never ever have had a lot of pears on the pear tree, but the apples, these two doing very nicely. Well, they're all doing very nicely. There's a lot of apples on here. This is absolutely covered in them at the moment. I've never seen so many on this tree, and whether it's with the way the weather's been this year, I don't know, because I've not done anything particularly special with any of these. They do get a little bit of feed now and again, and they get a little bit of grow more that I put round the base of each tree, but that's probably that might only be twice a year. But yeah, I can't moan at all. There's going to be some nice fruit to be had here. And talking of fruit, the big cooking apple tree over there, that, although obviously you can't see it, there's again absolutely oodles of apples on there. So that'll be another nice harvest a little bit later on in the year. Right, the veg trug. This originally, I'll explain what we've got in here. There's some Navara lettuce still here, and one leftover salad bowl. All the rest they've gone. I've taken them out because I've grown them as a cut and come again, so I've taken leaves off when I've wanted them, and because they've started to go past it a little, they've started to get a bit leggy, thought, right, we'll get them out. I've got others I can put in here, but I'm going to probably put some spring onions in, because what happened I expected to happen, and that is that down the middle I've got some sweet candle carrots, and as the lettuce have expanded, so they've basically cast shadow over the carrots. So what I might do now to give them the chance, the carrots, to catch up, it doesn't really matter too much, I'll show you why in a little bit, but it doesn't really matter how they do, but to let them catch up a little, I'm thinking that I might put some spring onions in here. It will probably be lettuce. So although I'm standing here saying, oh, I think I'll put some spring on it, it'll probably be lettuce, it'll go back in. So, but you know, there we have it. And talking of spring onions, let's just have a pull some up. There we go, that's Guardsman. I've got Apache, which is a red onion, which they aren't so big. Oh, I could have left that one. Ah well, here we go, here's a nice one. There we go, some red onion. I'm only going to pull one or two. I'll take them to work with me, to be honest. Let's have another Guardsman. There we go. So we've got some, I could have left that one in, but there we go, they'll do me. That's not bad at all. I'll probably pull one more. Yeah, let's just pull another Guardsman. What have we got? What can we thin out a little? There we go, that'll do. They'll do me, they will. Have them with me, my sandwiches, or wraps, whatever, today. So that's those there. As I say, in the Navara, I'm doing the cut and come again as such with those. With them being a little bit smaller lettuce, they seem to have survived a little bit better in here. Not that the salad bowl didn't do very well, but just that once they started to bolt, they went, and these don't seem to be anywhere near wanting to bolt. So that's really good. And now that I've opened this up, of course, it'll give them a bit more light and give them a chance to pick up. So I'll now show you why these carrots, doesn't really matter what happens with them. Right, this is why those carrots in the veg strug don't really matter what they do. I've got these in here, in these tubs. They are sweet candle. They were all sown at the same time. They don't quite look the same, but that's because the compost, there's more compost in that barrel than this one. They are sweet candle. These are Nazareth, which I believe are a British bred version of sweet candle. And as you can see, I don't need to say any more really. All looking very nice. Again, they've not been fed or anything. They've just been watered regular. And as you will see in a previous video, you'll have seen how I did the seed sowing. But all in all, I'm very pleased with these. They're really looking good. Well, that's it for this one. As I say, mainly with the plot tour. I've come round this morning and trimmed, got all that done. That's quite a big job in itself. I'm very pleased with the way everything is going. I don't think there's anything the only thing that's disappointed me slightly is with regards to that first sowing of peas. But, you know, as I've said, Hurst Green Shaft are a main crop. I put them in late March, so I've had to bob a few more seeds in because they were very spasmodic with the germination. But I think that's more my fault than anything. But all in all, I'm very pleased with the way everything's going. It's all doing really well. And I hope you enjoyed that. So, without further ado, I'm going to sign off. And I'll see you again in the next one. Ta-ra a bit.